A very good evening, friends. I welcome you all to the daily newspaper analysis brought to you by the Shankar IAS Academy. Today's date is 6th April 2024. Here are the list of articles which we are gonna discuss today. So get started. Look at the first MCQ of the day. It has given 5 parameters and it asks us out of 5 which are all the criteria which will be used by the Finance Commission for horizontal distribution of taxes. Okay. Now, we should know that this question directly asked from the recommendation of the 15th Finance Commission and they are asking about criteria. Okay, now let us break down those details and come back to question. For those who don't know, horizontal tax devolution refers to the distribution of taxes among the states within the country based on certain criteria. See, it is a method used to ensure equitable sharing of national resources, taking into account the various factors that affects the expenditure needs and revenue capacity of a state. Now, let us see the criteria. First one is population. See, more people means more demand for public services like healthcare, education, infrastructures. So, therefore, states with larger population obviously receive a bigger share of funds to help meet these needs. The second one is area of the state. See, larger states have the high cost of infrastructure and service delivery. So, this criteria ensures that these states gets more fund to cover those needs. Third one is forest and ecology. See, states with significant forest cover have restricted the land use for various developmental activities and they are bearing the higher environmental conservation cost. So, they need to be compensated for these limitations and responsibilities. Fourth criteria is income distance. It means the gap between the state's gross domestic product or GSDP and that of the state with the highest GSDP. See, we should know that why it matters. Because states with lowest GSDP per capita are considered less able to generate revenue and they need more help to reduce their economic disparities. Fifth one is obviously demographic performance. See, it's measured by the reciprocal of the TFR or total fertility rate of each state adjusted to the population data of 1971. See, this is a reward given to the state for effectively controlling the population rate. Sixth one is tax effort. This means the efficiency of the states in collecting the taxes, which is calculated as the ratio of per capita tax revenue to the per capita state GDP over the period of time. See, this rewards the states that are more efficient in collecting the taxes and moreover it will reward the states which put in more effort to generate their revenue. So, as you can see in the chart, the 15th Finance Commission has modified the weightage of this criteria from the earlier 14th Finance Commission. Note that 2 new criteria are added. They are tax effort and demographic performance. Here note that highest weightage was given to the income distance, that is 45%, which was actually reduced from the earlier 50%. Second one is area and population. See, these 2 criteria each are given 15% weightage. The third one is forest and ecology, which is given 10%. Then comes demographic performance, which has 12.5%, and lastly tax effort has 2.5%. Okay, having elaborately covered this, now let's get back to question. Here, out of the 5 criterias, demographic performance, forest and ecology, tax and fiscal efforts are all part of the criteria, whereas governance reforms, stable government are not generally included in the criteria. So we have to eliminate them and the correct option is option C, only 3. Now let us see the second question of the day. Look at this MCQ. It asks about the essence of due process of law. Okay. See, this question is taken directly from the Indian polity. You should have to understand the basics of polity to get this question right. Okay, let's start our discussion. As you know, Article 21 of the Indian Constitution declares that no person shall be deprived of his or her personal life or liberty except according to the procedure established by law. This right is available to both citizens and non-citizens. But in the famous Gopalan case of 1950, the Supreme Court interpreted the Article 21 in a narrow sense. It ruled that 21 protects only against the arbitrary executive action and not against the arbitrary legislative action. What does it mean? This means the state can deprive a person of their right to life or liberty based on a law. In other words, the validity of the law, even if it is unfair, unjust or unreasonable, cannot be questioned in the court of law. See, this is the essence of the procedure established by the law under Article 21. Know that this procedure established by the law is different from the due process of law of the American Constitution. Okay, now let us see what is due process of law. Due process of law refers to the just, rational, fair treatment under the regular judicial process. In the famous Menaka case 1978, the Supreme Court overruled its Gopalan judgment by taking a wider interpretation of the Article 21. It states that the right to life and personal liberty can be deprived by a law provided that the procedure prescribed by the law is reasonable, fair and just. In other words, it has introduced the American expression due process of law into Indian context. In effect, the protection under Article 21 should be available not only against the arbitrary executive action but also against the arbitrary legislative action. Further, the court held that the right to life as embodied in the Article 21 is not merely confined to animal existence or survival, but it includes within its ambit the right to live with human dignity and all those aspects which makes the life meaningful, complete and worth living. Okay, so in the sense, due process of law means fair application of law. So the correct option is option C. Now let us see the news articles of the day. Look at this news article. NCERT has proposed several revisions to the school textbooks. This includes addition of findings from the DNA analysis of the skeleton remains at the Rakhigarhi archaeological sites to the class 12 history book. See, in our discussion today, let us learn about the findings of Rakhigarhi and other IVC sites. Firstly, we should see about Rakhigarhi site. See, Rakhigarhi is a part of the Indus Valley civilization and it was excavated by Sri Amarendranath of the Archaeological Survey of India. It is located in the Hisar district of Haryana in the Ghaggar-Hakra river plain. See, it's one of the largest settlements of the IVC dating back to 2600 to 1900 BC. Know that the other larger sites of IVC are Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Ganveriwala in Pakistan and Dholavira in India. Continuing our discussion, the archaeological excavations reveal the mature Harappan place represented by the planned township having mud brick as well as burnt brick houses with a proper drainage system. See, the pottery of the Rakhigarhi is similar to that of the Kalibangan and Banavali. And the ceramic industry is represented by the red ware, which included dish on stand, vase, perforated jar among the others. Apart from this, animal sacrificial pits lined with the mud brick and circular fire altars on the mud floor have also been excavated. See, this signifies the ritual system of the Harappans. Recently, a study of the DNA from the skeletal remains excavated from the Harappan cemetery at Rakhigarhi found that the people in the IVC have an independent origin. The study negates the theory of the Harappans having a steppe pastoral or ancient Iranian farmer ancestry. See, these are certain facts you have to remember about Rakhigarhi site. Now, continuing our discussion, apart from Rakhigarhi, Harappa is a very important IVC site. Actually, it is the first excavated site of the IVC. Know that it was excavated by a team led by archaeologist Daya Ramsani in 1921. It's located in the Sahiwal district of West Punjab on the banks of River Ravi in Pakistan. See, the major archaeological findings which have been unearthed from the Harappa are 2 sandstones statues depicting the human anatomy, 2 rows of the 6 granaries, workmen quarters, bronze sculpture of a dog chasing a deer, red sandstone, male torso, sculpture of the mother goddess, pottery with the Indus script on it, terracotta figures, etc. Another important city is Mohenjo-daro. See, it was discovered by R.D. Banerjee and his team in 1922. It is located in the Larna district of Sindh, Pakistan on the banks of river Indus. See, the major findings of the Mohenjo-daro are Great Bath, Citadel, bronze statue of the dancing girl, bronze buffalo, street age statue of the bearded priest, seal of Pasupati, great granary, etc. See, this is all regarding the discussion. In this discussion, we saw about the important history topic of IVC sites and their significance. With this learned points, let us move on to the next news article. Look at this news article. The Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, MNRE, has launched a scheme worth 496 crores. It states that the scheme will run until 2025-26. What does the scheme aims? It aims to support the pilot projects regarding the green hydrogen. These projects will either test how effective green hydrogen can be to be used as a vehicle fuel. The goal is to explore the potential of the green hydrogen and develop the necessary infrastructures to support it in India. See, this is the crux of the news article. In our discussion today, let us understand about green hydrogen from top to bottom. Let us see them 360-degree view. Firstly, green hydrogen is usually produced from water using an electrolysis process. See, electrolysis process involves the use of electricity to split the compounds. With the help of electrolysis, the water is split into hydrogen and oxygen. In this process, we will get hydrogen. See, this is how hydrogen is produced using electrolysis. When the electrolysis process uses this electricity which is being obtained from the renewable energy like wind or solar, then the resultant hydrogen will be termed as green hydrogen. Note that hydrogen rarely exists in a free state. This means mostly hydrogen does not occur alone. It generally exists with other elements like oxygen, sodium and so on. So, if we need hydrogen, we have to produce it artificially. So, based on the production methods, hydrogen is further classified into many types. Some of the important types are grey hydrogen, blue hydrogen, green hydrogen, black, brown, red and pink hydrogen, etc. Now, we will understand this type one by one. Firstly, let us take grey hydrogen. See, grey hydrogen refers to the hydrogen that is produced using fossil fuels like coal, natural gas, etc. Here, the production process releases some amount of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Know that green hydrogen is not considered as a low carbon fuel. Secondly, come to blue hydrogen. See, blue hydrogen is similar to grey hydrogen, but here most of the CO2 that are emitted during the production process will be sequestrated. That is, the CO2 emitted during the production will be stored in the ground using carbon capture and storage methods, etc. Therefore, blue hydrogen is considered to be the low carbon fuel. Now, let's come back to green hydrogen. See, as we have discussed earlier, green hydrogen is produced using electricity that is obtained from the clean energy sources. Know that it is the cleanest fuel and is considered as a low or zero emission hydrogen. This is because the production process of the green hydrogen involves the use of energy that is obtained from wind, solar, which don't releases greenhouse gases while generating electricity. See, this is all about the types of hydrogen. Now let us talk about the advantages of green hydrogen. Firstly, green hydrogen is 100% sustainable. This is because it does not emit any greenhouse gases either during the combustion or during the production. So, it will provide energy security for the longer time without affecting the environment. Secondly, it can be used as a fuel in trains, ships, planes that are modified to run on hydrogen fuel. So, this will eliminate the emissions of greenhouse gases from the vehicular emissions. Thirdly, it can be used as a raw material for the chemical, petrochemical, cement and steel industries. See, this will replace the use of fossil fuels, which in turn reduces the further GHG emissions. Okay, these are all about the advantages. Now, looking at the other side of the coin, let us see the disadvantages. Firstly, green hydrogen is more expensive to obtain. As we saw earlier, it is generated using the energy from the renewable sources. So, the generation of energy from the renewables is more expensive vis-a-vis the fossil fuels. Apart from this, the electrolysis which are used in the production of green hydrogen are also expensive. See, these factors makes it the more expensive fuel. Secondly, regarding the safety issues. See, hydrogen in general is highly volatile and flammable element. So, if there is some mishap, the consequences will be very huge. So, extensive safety measurements are generally required to prevent the leakages and explosions of the green hydrogen. Now, finally, let us see the steps taken by the government to promote the green hydrogen. See, currently, the central government is implementing the National Green Hydrogen Mission. This mission was set up with a budget outlay of approximately 19,700 crores. See, it's going to be implemented from financial year 2023-24 to financial year 29-30. The main objective of the mission is to make India a global hub for the production, usage and export of green hydrogen. Under the mission, the central government is striving to achieve two things by 2030. Firstly, the government aims to achieve green hydrogen production capacity of India at 5 MMT million metric ton per annum by 2030. See, this in turn will reduce a cumulative of 1 lakh crore worth of fossil fuel imports by 2030. Secondly, the government aims to pace out nearly 50 MMT of CO2 emissions by 2023 through production and use of the green hydrogen. See, this is one of the important steps taken by government to promote the green hydrogen. See, with this we have come to the end of this topic discussion. In this discussion, we saw about preliminary related topics regarding the types of hydrogen, and in the second part, we saw about the mains related topic of advantages and disadvantages of hydrogen. So please revise it often so that you can use it in your exams. With this basic points, let us move on to next article discussion. Look at this editorial article. It talks about the dynamics within Indian Parliament, specifically in the 17th Lok Sabha. See that various trends in 17th Lok Sabha have undergone significant changes. These changes are evident in the shifting of the focus of the parliamentary questions towards the ministries, but sadly there is a notable decline of questions towards the Prime Minister office, national security and internal affairs. Moreover, there is also a worrying trend of increasingly disallowed questions which could impact the parliamentary oversight. See, despite these challenges, there is a rise in the use of zero hour, indicating a keen interest in addressing the urgent issues. However, the article also points out missed opportunities for more meaningful discussions and the need of the parliament to effectively use all the available interventions. See, this is the crux of the article. With this understanding, let us see a mains question relevant to this and discuss using our mains answer writing practice approach. First, let me read out this question. To what extent, in your opinion, Parliament is able to ensure accountability of the executives in India? This question comes under GS paper 2. Have a look at this syllabus. Now, coming back to the question, what aspirants generally do is, as soon as they see the question, they will start listing out the mechanism in the Parliament to control the executive. It's like zero hour, question hour, etc. But here the question demands us to write how effective is the Parliament in using those mechanisms to ensure accountability. So let's focus on that and stick to that. Now let's start with a brief introduction about the need of the Parliament to control the executive. Firstly, parliamentary control over the executive is a fundamental principle of democratic governance, ensuring that governments remain accountable and transparent to the electorate. Now coming on to the body part of the answer, we need to write how effective the tools are. Although having multiple tools to have a check on the executive, we cannot say it works as its fullest due to the following reasons. Firstly, evasion of the parliamentary scrutiny. See, the government is consistently bypassing the debates or checks through the mechanisms like money bill, using voice votes for the controversial bill, or issuing frequent ordinance. See, most bills are introduced during the term of 17th Lok Sabha, that is 58% of the bill were passed within 2 weeks of the introduction. Notably, the J&K reorganization bill, women reservation bill were passed within 2 days of the introduction. Moreover, 35% of the bill were passed with less than an hour of discussion in Lok Sabha. Okay. Secondly, sidelining of the parliamentary institutions. See, trends such as referring the fewest bills to committee and diminished productivity during the question hour reduces the effectiveness of the parliamentary oversight. Note that 17th Lok Sabha referred only 16% of the bill to the standing committee for scrutiny. See, this is much lower than the previous tenures. Thirdly, Article 93 of the Constitution requires that Lok Sabha elect a speaker and deputy speaker as soon as they may. This is the first time Lok Sabha did not elect the deputy speaker for its entire duration of 17th Lok Sabha. Fourthly, impact of external events like missing an entire session during the pandemic diminished the parliamentary role on its oversight. And finally, lack of discipline. See, frequent disruptions, significant loss of parliamentary time affecting the function and productivity. See, 16th Lok Sabha lost 16% of its scheduled time to disruptions, spent 40% less time than the average number of hours which was spent by the previous Lok Sabha that completed its 5 terms. See, despite these challenges, Parliament can effectively control the executive by implementing the following steps. Firstly, implementing a 15-point reform charter as suggested by the Vice President. Know that this charter would encompass various reforms aimed at enhancing the efficiency, accountability, responsiveness of the Parliament. Secondly, mandatory scrutiny of the bills by the committee. See, this would ensure that all the proposed legislation is thoroughly examined for its implications, legality and effectiveness before being passed. Thirdly, ensuring adequate debate time for the opposition. See, providing sufficient time for the opposition members to discuss the issue of public importance would enhance the quality of debates and ensures a more balanced and comprehensive scrutiny of the government policies. Fourthly, improving attendance and participation. See, encouraging a better attendance of MPs in Parliament is necessary to ensure that the discussions and votes are representative of all viewpoints. See, this can be supported by strict adherence to the attendance rules and consequences for the consistent absenteeism. Fifthly, using technology for the efficiency. See, we should adopt modern technology to streamline the parliamentary process, including electronic voting, virtual participation of the members whom are unable to attend in person, and digital platforms for the public input on legislative matters. See, this can make the parliamentary process more efficient and accessible. With this, our body part of an answer is over. Now let us give a brief conclusion. While Parliament possesses significant tools to ensure accountability of the executives, its effectiveness in wielding these tools has been compromised by various challenges. Addressing these challenges through reforms and enhancing the mechanisms are crucial towards strengthening the democracy in India. See, this is regarding the discussion. In this discussion, we saw about how Parliament is ineffective in using its tool to ensure accountability of the executives. With this, let us move on to the next part of our discussion. Look at this news article. In order to stop human rights violations against Palestinians during the Israel's military operations in Gaza, the United Nations Human Rights Council has passed a resolution. This resolution urged the nations to stop selling or transferring weapons to the Israel. See, this is the crux of the article. In the backdrop, let us see some prelims related facts about UNHRC. See, the Human Rights Council is an intergovernmental body within the United Nations system. It is responsible for strengthening the promotion and protection of the human rights around the globe. See, the main mandate is to address the situations of human rights violation and to make recommendations on them. Remember, it has the ability to discuss all thematic human rights violations that requires the attention throughout the years. It meets at the UN office at Geneva. Okay, now talking about the membership. See, UNHRC is made up of 47 members. The UNGA or General Assembly elects the members who will constitute 47 members. The members of the council serve for a period of 3 years and know that they are not eligible for the immediate re-elections after the 2 consecutive terms. On continuing our discussion, the UNGA has the power to suspend the right of any Human Rights Council member if it found to have consistently committing human rights violation during their tenure. The suspension comes into effect with a 2/3 majority by the General Assembly. Moving on, for the smooth functioning of the HRC Council, the following subsidiary body have been established which directly report to the Council. First in the list is Universal Periodic Review Working Group. See, a review cycle is a 4.5 year period within which all the UN member states' human rights records are reviewed. The working groups convenes 3 2-week sessions per year or 14 sessions over the course of the entire cycle. Secondly, in the list is Advisory Committee. See, it serves as the Council think tank, providing it with expertise and advice on the thematic human rights violations. Then, compliance procedure. It allows the individuals and organizations to bring violation into the attention of Human Rights Council. Apart from this, the monitoring of the situations across the globe is done by special procedures of the UNHRC. See, special procedures are independent human rights experts with a mandate to report and advise on the specific issues or countries. In other words, they conduct country visits, issue reports and response to the complaints of HR violations and provide recommendation to the government and other stakeholders. Furthermore, the UNHRC adopts the resolutions on the various violations, concerns and country-specific situations. This resolution serves as a collective expression of the Council's stance. It guides the states in their efforts to promote and protect human rights. See, this is all regarding the discussion. In this discussion, we saw about the functions and structures of the UNHRC. This is all regarding the discussion. Now let us move on to the next part of our video, that is to discuss the preliminary practice questions. Today I am having 2 questions. Let us solve them. See the first question. Which one of the following ancient town is well known for its elaborate system of water harvesting and management by building a series of dams and channelizing the water into connected reservoirs? See, we know that IVC is having a elaborate system of water harvesting and management method, but out of them, which is fitting into the description which we have discussed? See, the correct option is Dholavira. See, Dholavira is located on the Kadir Island in the Rann of Kutch in Gujarat. The city had an impressive and unique water harvesting and management method. So it can be noted that this area receives less than 160 cm of rainfall and is very prone to drought. So, a sophisticated water management method was developed by these people to thrive in the harsh environment. So the correct option is Dholavira, option A. See the second question. Consider the following statements about the United Nations Human Rights Council. See the first statement. It was established in the year 1946 as the statutory body of the United Nations Economic and Social Council. See, the statement 1 talks about UNHRC. It was established in 1946 as a subsidiary body of the ECOSOC. Moreover, it was replaced by the United Nations Human Rights Council due to the reason that it was under severe criticism as its members were the primary abusers. Okay, so the question, it is given a statutory body, so it is wrong. See the second statement. The council has 47 members who are elected for a 3-year term on a regional group basis. See, statement 2 is correct as we have seen in our discussion. So we can say that the correct option is option B. The mains question based on today's discussion is listed here. Interested aspirants can write and get back to us. If you like today's video, like, comment and share it with your friends. For more updates regarding UPSC preparation, subscribe to Shankar IAS Academy. Thank you very much.